we can go back to talking about jumping the shark again. The first movie we watched was a fun one.
What is it?
This is a real humdinger from Tales from the Crypt called Demon Night.
Yeah!
Yes.
All right, look, officers. The man I'm chasing now, he's dangerous.
How about a shiny new quarter? You want one?
Used to be a church. Ain't a church no more. They decommissioned it in the 50s due to lack of interest.
Fuck this cowboy shit! You fucking ho dunk, po dunk, well then there, motherfucker!
You really love me, don't you, Wally?
I got an idea that's gonna save us that walk. I say we give those goddamn demons what they want.
Caroline, you wouldn't hurt your old Uncle Willie now, would you, baby?
Just one more thing I forgot to mention. I lied.
Oh, hello, kiddies. So glad you could join me.
All right, we started. Sit the fuck down.
I'm sorry. This power has gone to your head. I don't even recognize you anymore.
It's your voice go any higher.
Because I don't think any of us had really seen. Had you seen the movie? You saw the movie, of course, because you.
Yeah, I knew this movie like.
But you were the only one that saw this movie.
Which is pretty much a majority of the movies we're going to be watching are. I mean, even that movie too.
Right.
You saw it in the theater, which is even highly impressive. But
yeah.
I don't know anyone. Every time I bring this movie up, everyone's like, "Nate, what?" But
yeah.
Let's go back to Demon Night.
Night. Well, the cool thing about Demon Night is it's a spin-off from Tales from the Crypt. And I grew up with Tales from the Crypt. I love Tales from the Crypt. And it was always cool watching it because it was like the scary sort of theme, which I always loved. My parents didn't care that I saw it because it was kind of PG horror. It was really never, it was never really bad horror where it would affect a young person.
Yeah.
And you always got to see boobies in it.
Holy shit.
Hi, Uncle Willie. Poor Uncle Willie.
It was HBO. It was kind of. It was.
Yeah, Tales from the Crypt usually had like boobs in it.
It was late '80s, early '90s on paid cable TV.
Right.
It was kind of a requirement. You had you had Tales from the Crypt, and then it went into like Emmanuel and the softcore porn stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember those.
Oh, God.
The woman's name is Emmanuel.
Is that on the list?
Hell
No. Oh, God, no, please no.
One might call it the epitome of a cinematic experience.
That's it. Epitome. I like that.
Instead of epitome, is it epitome?
Ready for a dead time story? See what they did there? They said dead instead of bed.
Did you just explain a pun to me?
I did.
We-
I think he says it in the film.
Does he? Mm-hmm. I'll have to look for that.
I like the film in the film, like the whole John Larroquette starting the movie.
Uh-huh.
You know, with the
Before we get to that,
okay.
You did a great job reading the synopsis on the back. Synopsis, because I know you like that word.
Synopsis.
And weeding,
Yes.
because that's
I
what
mean, I say
those are doubles.
synopsis.
Synopsis?
A mysterious drifter known as Breaker, B-R-A-Y-K-E-R, possesses the last of 7 ancient keys that hold the power to stop the forces of darkness and protect all humanity from ultimate evil. But...
From ultimate evil, but...
It said, protect all humanity from ultimate evil butt.
Only so long as Breaker can evade the demonic collector, who is Billy Zane, who has gathered the other 6 keys. In his obsessive quest for the key, the collector rallies an army of ghastly cadavers against Breaker and the inhabitants of a rundown hotel. Armed with automatic weapons, sacred blood, and sadistic humor, Breaker and the other strong-willed Geraldine, Jerry Lynn, who is played by Jada Pinkett, must lead other guests in a gruesome battle against the collector and his evil horde of ghouls. Infested with a talented cast, thrilling special effects, and the Crypt Keeper's deadpan delights, Demon Knight delivers diabolical fun and a body of frights.
Did they use humor? Like, the humor came from Billy Zane. It said they were armed with humor, but none of them were funny. Only Billy Zane was funny.
In fact, one of them was disarmed. So.
Ha!
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was really. I don't think there's a lot of humor in it.
Billy Zane was funny.
You fucking ho dunk, po dunk, well then there, motherfucker!
He was delivering, every time he was on screen, he was delivering one-liners or cheesiness.
Right.
But it says they were armed with automatic weapons and
sadistic humor.
Did they have automatic weapons?
They found some, but they didn't have any ammunition for
No
it.
ammo. Right.
Right, because the one guy was a postal, you know.
So this whole thing is a lie. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it tells from the Crypt.
Breaker, though. B-R-A-Y-K-E-R.
You really have to growl it.
You do, yeah.
Do you think do you think Breaker was his first or last name?
Definitely his first name.
Because he was a World War I vet, so.
I bet his last name is Bad.
Breaker Bad.
I thought it was gonna be Breaker.
I thought it was gonna be Breaker 19 or something.
Oh, 19. Yeah, I thought it was his first and last name. It was Breaker. But just spelled different.
Yeah.
You know, spelled with a
B-R-E-A-K.
Yeah, exactly. So he has 2 different spellings.
B-R-A-Y.
Yeah. I didn't see anything funny though. It's really funny because the humor for Tales from the Crypt was always kind of like hokey anyway.
Right.
Frights, camera, action.
As we said, or as I was saying before, it's kind of like what Law and Order became, where it was a show where just everybody guest starred on it.
Oh, Tales from the Crypt?
Yeah, Tales from the Crypt. Like that show, like if you go back, like everyone who became a big actor, or even in the movie, the opening had a quick cameo of John Larroquette, which this was in the '90s, so that was.
He was still in Night Court.
Night Court, which he won how many Golden Globes for Night Court? Like. He had to ask them to not nominate him anymore because no one else was winning because he was so like
he was on par. I mean, he was just
that is a flex for sure.
Have you ever seen Night Court?
No.
You know they rebooted it?
Yeah, I heard with like the granddaughter or something, and the daughter of supposedly the judge
Anderson.
Yeah.
I never saw it again.
I saw one episode. It was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't get really.
It didn't have the same. Well, you know, because the judge guy, original guy, whose name I can't remember.
Anderson.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say Louis Anderson, but it's not Louis Anderson.
He's a comedian.
And
a magician.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyway, that guy
like
kind of made the show, and then the lady that played Roz, who died like 5 seasons in, 6 seasons in, she made the show. But that was still funny, and this movie was not.
I got another one of his movies on the list, so we'll watch
thank
another
God.
one. Yeah.
John Larroquette?
Yeah. I'm not gonna tell you what, but it's
of course you're right. Yeah, so also the night part of it, like, you know.
I don't understand that part either.
Well,
like, why
I guess
the night?
It's like a quest. It's it's like a old school quest.
They're
sort
like
of
the
thing.
Knights of the Keys.
It's a really bad play on words because it was. I mean.
Well, so is everything on Tales from the Crypt.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I was gonna say that's what the gatekeeper or the Crypt keeper. That's what he does.
I asked for final cut, and I got it.
If they reboot this, you need to be a writer for the Crypt keeper because your hokey jokes and puns are exactly like
hokey pokey jokes.
Yeah.
No, that's taking it too far.
Uh-oh. I think my producers are trying to tell me something.
I did have a favorite part though, was when he. No, that wasn't the
He
second.
punched the guy through his face.
Through his face.
Yeah.
Right through his face.
And then couldn't get his hand out and yanked his head off of his shoulder.
And then beat people with the skull.
And that was kind of bitching.
Oh yeah, he did. He hit the main guy like, with his
own head.
Yeah.
And then he threw the skull at the other police
cop.
officer.
Yeah.
That kind of goofy stuff cracks me up. Like, you know, I know you don't have the footage, but like I just literally like that was hilarious.
I love that scene. 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 That was one of my favorite scenes.
That
in the
kind
show.
of ridiculous violence kind of does it for me.
And honestly, there was. I mean, if we would go through some of the stuff that was like, there was some like the car crash of the car exploding. It was over the top. Like he ran out of gas, but his car still just burst into giant flames, and as if the inside was filled with actual gas.
Right.
But it looked good. It started out more 90s than you could ever imagine with a filter song. Great. It was a great start. The forced perspective of the model house or the model church and them walking. But like that's a dead art now. They don't do that now. It's just CG.
No. Peter Jackson and all those Hobbit movies. That's forced perspective.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he used that a lot in the Lord of the Rings movies and all. But like, only he can get away with it. Like, it's just not something that's done as much anymore. Like miniatures.
I don't think they really did it in The Hobbit either. I think that
they
was
totally did.
CG.
That's how they made them look different sizes.
No, in The Lord of the Rings they did, but in The Hobbit I thought they got lazy, didn't they?
I don't know. I don't think so.
It was like 10 years later they didn't.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think they did the same thing.
But even it was done in all movies. Even Army of Darkness had forced perspective with the windmill. Like it was in everything, and now it's just.
Well, now you can CGI everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like my favorite one was like total off topic, I know, but and we're gonna go back to RoboCop when he pulls up to the head of OCP. It's a building, and the whole top of the building is a matte painting.
Oh.
Like that stuff's dead.
Right.
And that's long gone. I don't think anybody does that anymore.
A third the time to just boop it into a computer.
Exactly, and it's even shorter now. And now with the AI, you just need this, and
it's going to create
done. But okay, so we move past that.
This is
the creature costumes.
This was like all practical effects except when they put the goo.
The goo and the electric shooting out of the eyes.
Shooting out of their eyes.
But the electric still looked good. The goo looked. The goo was bad. The goo was bad. The force field it created was actually pretty decent for the time.
Yeah.
Give me the key breaker for crying out loud.
The creature costumes were great.
Let's go back to the car crash though, like
okay.
You know, because here we have, you know, he runs out of gas, so he turns his car to like to block both lanes to take a couple shots at the car. The car catches on fire. Billy Zane's car catches on fire, and then for some reason magically he's locked in the car and he can't get out. So he has to.
Because when you
climb up
run
to
out
his-
of gas, your battery also dies.
Right, but he was able to open the window.
But the window was down.
That took the rest of the power.
But he climbed out.
He eventually
he
climbed
did get out.
Right. And then the cars literally just exploded. Both cars exploded, which was great. And then the cops wanted to arrest him because they were driving over 100 miles an hour.
Right, Sheriff. Them sons of bitches must have been doing well over 100 to make a mess like this. Well, Bob, it's too late to give them a ticket.
Yeah, and then they go into like the church, the old.
A great set. It was a cool set. I mean, it was very. I mean,
small.
It was a small set.
It
but
looks like they repeated rooms quite a bit.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, it was probably a small set built on a studio, but a soundstage. But like the cinematography was pretty. I mean, nothing was flat. It didn't look like especially like the TV shows. It was usually really flat. It was just like this actually looked like a movie.
No, they shot it like a movie.
Yeah, and cinematography was pretty good. I don't remember the music at all. I mean, there was just like a lot of like
90s stuff.
Well, I mean, this not the soundtrack, but the score.
Oh,
like there were a lot of like
notice much
punches. There were a lot of like musical punches of like, this happened, you know, almost like wake up. Because there were some down parts in that where it just slowed and dragged.
You know what? I love Billy Zane in this movie.
Yeah.
You fucking ho dunk, po dunk, well then there, motherfucker!
And I've never looked for him in a movie before. I've never been like even in Titanic, like he was kind of a douche in Titanic. And I've always like, oh, well, that's what he plays. But this character that this was obviously the start of his career, part of the start of his career.
Well, he was in Back to the Future.
See, I don't even remember him in Back to the Future. I know he was one of the cronies. I don't
either.
I don't remember him.
I think he was in all three. He was in all three of them.
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I don't remember him at all. So he was not memorable. But if I would have saw this first, I would have looked for him in the future, back in the future.
I would have looked for him in the future.
I just never been a Jada Pinkett fan anyway, really.
I can't, other than this and the really bad joke I made about Matrix, I don't know what else she's been in.
I think she was
Will
in
Smith.
No, that was
that's because he's been in her.
Well, we don't know that for sure.
I think it might be. He might be right. But I'm just like, I'm trying to remember like stuff that she. Maybe a Bond movie. Maybe. I think
you're right.
And then.
I mean, we have technology at our fingertips.
I'll throw a few movie titles she's been in up along here.
Okay.
Yeah.
To see, but
or give the audience points if they guess which one it is, which how many there are without googling it.
Yeah, if they can name the movie before I throw it up.
Right.
Yeah, or like Boomerang. Was she in Boomerang with Eddie Murphy?
I thought she was one of the most dynamic actors in the movie.
Isn't that
personally,
funny,
like the other people just kind of fall by the wayside, but she was like the headliner in my opinion. Like she was the most dynamic. She was.
Yeah.
She was in The Color Purple.
She's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she was in a lot of stuff. And then
she was fun though.
Thomas Hayden Church too, right?
Her ghostly finger.
Yeah, that was good.
Is that a yes?
No, that's me giving you the finger, asshole.
I'll get back to you.
The prostitute woman, she's been. I recognize her face.
Same. Yeah,
but I just don't know.
That's Pussy on the Table.
God damn it! Get that pussy off the table.
That's all right. That's our prostitute.
The next part that stands out was a part that you liked, the part where Billy Zane goes out and just loses it and fuck this cowboy yippee-ki-yay kind of whatever.
Fuck this cowboy shit! You fucking ho dunk, po dunk, well then there, motherfucker!
I like when people can like character shift like that. When they can just be acting like one certain type of role and then, oh my goodness, they're just like doing something else. And it catches you off guard because you're like, what? And then they do it just like more throughout the thing and it becomes kind of their shtick. And then you're just like, this is funny. I don't know what you're gonna do, but you like dedicate to each little flip you switch into and they all feel genuine and not just I'm along for the ride. Let's go.
Yeah, he did a good job flipping that of like being kind of like a marshal, like with the cowboy hat and the long gray or the long brown
and
duster.
None of it seemed cheesy.
Right.
Like it wasn't like he flipped and I'm like, wow, you really milked that. That was not.
You fucking ho dunk, po dunk, well then there, motherfucker!
It was just like genuinely like, you are all of these people.
And there was crotch flames.
Yeah, who? What?
Green crotch flames.
Where the hell did that come from? It was just like, what?
Well, that was after Jada Pinkett Smith had decided to wear the blood of Christ on her body, thinking it would protect her.
Which she wasn't.
I mean, that would turn anyone's crotch into a flamethrower, am I right?
Right. He gave her a quick bath, and all of a sudden she was perfectly white and clean.
So is that inspiration for you?
I'm going to try it. I'm going to see how it goes. I can do green
On the
fire.
Be Kind ReWatch reenactment, I think crotch flame.
Crotch fire!
All right, let's do it. I'm in. I can build that.
Wow.
The reenactment episode 1 is crotch flames from Billy Zane.
She's already got the white top on, so we just got to put her in.
Throw me in a bathtub!
Wrap in bubble wrap. Throw her in a bathtub.
Well, it has to be safe.
Yeah, of course it has to be safe. Well, you know.
Well, it should be. It doesn't have to be.
No, that's why I'm wrapped in bubble wrap.
To be protected.
It has to be safe.
I really.
You're safe from falling down, but not a flame shooting on you. Because that bubble wrap is.
I don't know what's worse, the stairs that she gets dragged down or the crotch flamethrower. I don't think bubble wrap would really protect you from either, but it's worth a try.
Well, it didn't because when she was coming down the stairs, your
it was all head. Like first of all, like that. Ow.
That was.
But it just showed how he just didn't care, like because he just knows she's dropping. He's just walking, talking I don't care. It was an interesting written character, but he definitely brought that character to life. I say he basically saved the movie.
Yeah.
Because you put another actor in there, it could have easily that movie could have just been a dud. But I mean, it wasn't a great movie, but he definitely made the movie more enjoyable.
You fucking ho dunk, po dunk, well then there, motherfucker!
Like you said, his character shifts, you said, weren't cheesy. They were fun.
Right.
He's evil, but like
he's fun.
He's charismatic.
Yeah.
Much in a different way, but much like in Warlock, Julian Sands is just a charismatic character that, even though he's evil and all that, you don't root for him, but you don't necessarily directly root against him.
Right.
Like when the guy was gonna give him the key and he made a deal with him, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll let you go." And then he goes down there, he's like, "I lied." You're kind of like, "Fuck yeah!"
Right.
Because you don't like that guy. But you like the demon more than you like an actual human.
But I like the demon because, like, when he was like enticing Willie, you know, it was all these naked women, and Willie was like in a whole different space. But then all of a sudden he turns around and he's still in the same room. So it was really like a really good play on his imagination. You know, playing and toying with their imagination as opposed to taking them to a different space.
Which brings me to my other part of my favorite ridiculous violence is when the little kid gets possessed and he turns into a flaming, or like the green thing with a tongue like this long.
Right.
It turned into Venom, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
I mean, it was all jaw, it was all
Yeah.
tongue action.
Yeah.
The tongue goes into the guy's chest.
Yes.
And like starts like killing him. But also too, like, how many movies nowadays do you kill a 12-year-old kid?
Not enough.
Not enough.
That used to be a thing where you couldn't do that. It was very shocking. And I forget the first movie I saw where they actually killed a little kid in it, but it was shocking when I saw it because you hadn't seen it before.
So one thing I would have missed is, like, they talk about the 7 keys, right? And so this devil character, demon character has 6 of them, and this is the final key, right?
Uh-huh.
So, you know, they never really represent how he got the other 6 keys, which would have been kind of interesting to see how he acquired
And then the
other
weird
6.
tattoo thing.
On the hand.
Yeah, the hand tattoo thing.
Yeah.
He kind of explains it was a map. When they all align, he knows it's a battle and he's done. He's gonna turn in the martyr. He kind of explains that, but again, it is a Tales from the Crypt story. I mean,
it's camp horror.
But then he gets that 7th key.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
which is
after
not really a
kills
key; it's a bottle.
A bottle, yes.
Yeah, but it's shaped of a key.
I'm saying, it's a bottle of blood, and
so then the world should have ended at that point, right? Once he got that 7th key.
I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, they don't say what he's got to do with it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he probably got to take it back to wherever he's from and combine them or create, you know, the Destructicon. I don't know.
And I love the flashbacks. The flashbacks I thought were pretty cool. How they took
Jesus
you to
stuff?
this biblical time of getting Jesus' blood. I don't know.
I went back to the war he was in, where he got the key.
Right, where he transferred over. Yeah.
I mean, that was a neat. And I kind of like the fact that they don't. It's not an exposition dump at the very start. It doesn't have like an opening dialogue of there are 7 missing, 7 keys, and it doesn't tell you all that. Like the story is slowly given out to you through time.
Slow for but
it was campy. It was fun. It was.
What's campy?
Campy is like when you watch something that you can't take too seriously. Like it's not designed.
Not
for you to
quite
be,
cheesy. Getting close to cheesy, but not there.
Not quite cheesy. Oh. You know, and it's not supposed to be scary. It's supposed to be kind of just fun,
silly, fun,
like campfire story sort of thing. You know, so it's kind of just kind of campy. It's like this ridiculous.
Or like a drag show.
Yeah.
That's campy.
I don't know if you can say that nowadays.
A drag show?
Yeah.
I just said drag show.
No, drag shows are fine. You can't say drag story hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they'll really drag you through the mud for that one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's staying in. We're
See, I'm more into dragons than any of that. So.
There almost was a dragon in this one,
almost
right?
a dragon. Yeah.
There was a demon.
Oh yeah, there was it was like a demon thing. What are your thoughts? Do you have anything to chime in? Anything you did like? What scene did you, other than the yippee-ki-yay, whatever?
You fucking ho dunk, po dunk, well then there, motherfucker!
Was there anything that...
Well, I was actually paying a lot more attention to the special effects than I was necessarily the plot. I really liked how they did the zombies. I really liked how they did those stilt legs. Oh my god, those were so cool. I liked the way that they did the makeup, and I was just like, man, that reminds me of when I did a zombie costume when I was in high school. And I really like that sort of thing. Like, I honestly thought that it was Jim Henson on that puppeteering with the
Crypt Keeper.
The Crypt Keeper. But then you're like, no, they killed too many people. He doesn't like that. And I'm like, yeah, it's just, it looks very on brand for him. And so like that kind of got me into that sort of, well, let's actually look at how they fabricated everything. And then like the whole movie, I'm just like looking at the special effects and stuff. Like, yeah.
Yeah, because like these special effects at this era, another reason I like this era of movie was it was pre-CG. So a lot of it is you look at like the creative, like how do they get these characters? Like when you see the Crypt Keeper walking, because on like we know the show, Tales from the Crypt was a really low budget, cheap show. It was fun, it was a cheap show. So the Crypt Keeper's puppeteered, but you always saw him from the waist up.
Right.
In this movie, when you see him walking, it was the first time you actually saw that.
Yeah.
And in the movie, now it looks cheesy, but it was kind of cool to see the Crypt Keeper walking. But now you can see, oh yeah, he's green screened with puppeteers and it's green screened over. But that was something you never saw in the show. So in the movie, it's like, holy shit, the Crypt Keeper's walking.
There you go.
My
Brings back
nostalgias
memories,
are
right?
flowing.
Same, yeah.
This is where your nostalgia is kept?
The one who attached the car battery to the guy's nipples.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I think that's where they spent their budget.
The car battery. That they took
The
from
smoking
exploding
nipples
guys,
was all the visual effects right there.
Thomas Hayden Church said my nipples are smoking.
Yeah.
I think I should say that's my second favorite.
So honestly, you're giving a lot of points of why this movie should be watched again. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Because I thought it was going to be just age really bad, but Billy Zane saved the movie.
You fucking ho dunk, po dunk, well then there, motherfucker!
And I think it's worth watching for him. And the smoking nipples.
Smoking nipples.
But yeah, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Yeah. Cool. I loved it.
Okay.
Your thought? Would you watch it again?
Yeah.
Would you tell anyone to watch it?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well then.
All right. Mm-hmm.
I want to know how the demon transferred, because when he dies, you know.
You're reading way too much into it.
Well, they showed us how the key transferred, but they didn't show us how the demon transferred.
Right.
So at that point, they've established
There may be
some
more-
semblance of structure, and then they only showed us what half of it was.
You think there's more than one demon?
He was. Remember he got to the bus at the end.
No, I know. You think there was only more than one? And they probably didn't transfer. It's just he died, and now the other one's looking too.
Oh.
I guess there are multiple keys, so there'd be
Yeah.
multiple seekers.
Exactly.
Multiple demons. Yeah. Okay.
Multiple seekers. You are a writer, aren't you?
I don't know.
That was well done. Multiple seekers. I like that. You just added more depth to a really shallow movie. I'm impressed.
You fucking ho dunk, po dunk, well then there, motherfucker!
No.
Do you know why people like feet?
No, because they're gross.
No.
And then the big news today is.
Oh yeah, show the shoe. Show the feet.
Show the
We're
feet.
paying for the feet. Show the feet.
The feet fee?
Because the feet and the genitals in the brain are very close neural networks, and you actually can be born with a crosswire between the foot and the genital.
Richard made it home safe. So the turncoat made it home safe.
Turncoat.
Hooray, Benedict Arnold.
Yeah.
Yes.
The abandonment.
We got to make sure we talk a lot of bad things about it.
Okay.
I can't. He's too precious. It hurts my heart.
Is he like your precious?
Yes.
We're basic bitches.
Yeah, look what you're drinking.
Richard's name is very fitting. Dick.
Dick.
Yeah, if we won't bash the movies, we shouldn't bash the players.
Exactly, yeah. Police Academy deserves it.
So does Richard.
Oh, you actually flipped him off that time.
Yeah, he points right. So do you, Richard.
Right.
I
So do
don't
you.
represent them.
You know, right now, people who are watching this episode for the first time, never seen it, and we're like, who the fuck is Richard?
Right. If they've only watched episode 3, they'd be like,
Nate and Hayes. I never heard of
You know this one. All right, I'm glad someone knows this.
I don't know this movie.
Show me more guns.
You show me gold, I show you gun.
Alone at last. Wouldn't let it worry you.
Slip God's truth.
People were kidnapped by someone called Ben Pease. He is a murderer.
Your Majesty!
Bully! This one's for you! God have mercy!
My movie guy voice. Set sail for high adventure.
Louder.
Get ready for hijinks and heroics on the high seas as Academy Award winner Tommy Lee Jones, Men in Black 1 and 2 and The Hunted, and Oscar nominee Michael O'Keefe, Ghost of Mississippi, Caddyshack, now you don't have to remember him, team up against bloodthirsty savages and scoundrels in this thrilling swashbuckler. After a gang of merciless cutthroats attack a South Pacific island, would-be Reverend Nathaniel, Nate, Williamson is left for dead and his beautiful fiancée is kidnapped. But to rescue her, Nate's only hope is to forge an unlikely alliance with a notorious and unpredictable buccaneer named Bully Hayes. Packed with humor, romance, and action from stem to stern, Nate and Hayes is a rousing, seaworthy pirate adventure.
Those are boat puns.
Okay.
This was a movie that, when I was little, we owned a handful of really crappy VHS. And I'm pretty sure this was a VHS we recorded off TV. Pretty sure. Because I remember the only one we really owned was Empire Strikes Back, Three Amigos, and Willy Wonka on Beta.
Wow.
Wow, Betamax.
Yes.
I had the official Betamax player of the 1984 Olympics. Remember they put that sticker on everything? I had my mom got it at Montgomery Ward.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm an old lady.
So this was one of those rare ones, like I said, we had the VHS tape, and I used to watch this all the time. And it was it came out right after Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders.
Okay.
Came out right after Raiders. The story is that when Raiders was a big hit, back then they didn't want to release a similar movie because it might affect this box office as the other one. When they made this one, they were about to release it, is when Spielberg announced the sequel to Indiana Jones. And they're like, oh, we can't release a movie at the same time, a similar movie, like a pirate kind of action movie, too similar, it'll hurt the box office. So they kind of didn't promote this and just let it out. Very few cinemas, which you said you saw it in the cinema.
I did.
Very few cinemas got it, and it was just released under the radar because they didn't want to compete with when Indiana Jones came out. They didn't want to take money away from Indiana.
And I could see why it wouldn't compete with Indiana Jones.
Right. When we jump into it and you look at the
quality.
No, I mean the bridge scene.
Yeah.
The bridge scene was first here, and then you look at Indiana Jones like
they did it better. Yeah.
But they did the exact same thing. Like they did it better. I mean, honestly, I don't know who the director is on this. Ferdinand Fairfax. Never heard of him. But, I mean, you're competing with Spielberg, you're probably going to come up short. Very few people can actually out-direct Spielberg, especially in his
And I wouldn't be surprised if you find people on this movie that were also part of, like, Pirates of the Caribbean. I could see how this could have spun off.
Oh, they're all dead.
Are they?
Everybody in this is dead.
Tommy Lee Jones is still...
He's practically dead.
He's still alive. But the Pirates is not... Like the kind of the storyline of the kind of misguided
Definitely Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, look who wrote it. Who was the screenplay by? John Hughes. I mean, that couldn't be more like mainstream, like not at the time, but mainstream story writing.
Are you writing down in that book that I'm a pirate?
Well, in a manner of speaking, I suppose one could say that I am, yes.
Good.
So the very start of the movie, they are trading. They're pirates. So they have a whole bunch of guns. They're trying to trade for gold. They go to this tribe. So we can't say savages. So this savage tribe. Savage tribe, not savages tribe.
Okay.
Does that work?
You just say tribe.
Okay.
Indigenous.
Indigenous.
I mean, they made a whole song about it in Pocahontas, so if Disney can do it, why can't we?
U.S. Army, madam. Spaniards do not have.
Right.
But they go there and they try to trade weapons for gold, and they end up being lying to them and not having any gold. And they all try to escape, and only Tommy Lee Jones gets away. Only Bully Hayes gets away. His entire crew gets killed. At the very start of the movie, his entire crew gets killed.
And weren't
I'm reading
these
too
two
far into it.
people like real life people?
Yes. Apparently, Bully Hayes and Ben Pease were actually real life people, but they weren't enemies. They were friends. They actually worked together. Where this, they kind of pin them. They definitely pin them up as enemies.
But they become friends.
No, he kills him. He kills him at the end. Ben Pease, he kills him.
Is
Well,
that
now
not the ultimate like pinnacle of friendship? Though?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, kill each
when
other.
we leave here, I'm gonna hang you from your skull chandelier. Because we're friends.
We're friends.
No, but basically, his entire crew gets killed, and he gets captured by Ben Pease, and whatever group, I don't know who was backing him, the New Zealand military, or whatever.
The Germans or whoever it was.
And the whole movie's a flashback. While he's in jail, he's telling Phil Collins his life story.
And well, one question I was meaning to ask you is how you ended up here.
Phil Collins was such a good interviewer.
Cecilia.
My favorite part was the part when he's like, "Are you writing in that book that I'm a pirate?" And he's kind of like nervous, like, "Well, yeah."
Right.
He's like, "Good, because I am." Like, I think that's great. A neat part of like how of a character that he is. Like, he is full of himself. He is a pirate. He knows what he is.
Tommy Lee Jones is hot in this movie.
Yeah, you said that like 55 times.
That's how hot Tommy Lee Jones is, though.
Probably tastes like a sausage.
You were really excited when he climbed out of the water with really tight wet pants. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
but
did
the
he
other
say?
thing though is like, and I think I turned to you and said this at one point. It's like every time I see a puffy pirate shirt, I always think of Seinfeld.
Seinfeld?
It's like that show ruined puffy pirate shirts for me forever.
But he barely wore the shirt because he was topless all the time.
But he had cool costumes.
He did have cool costumes.
Cummerbunds.
The changing
Cummerbunds.
cummerbunds were.
And he had kind of a Patrick Swayze.
He did,
flair
didn't he?
to him.
I was like,
Right?
yeah. At one point, he was high kicking and in high waist pants. I'm
Yeah.
just like, oof.
And they got
Patrick Swayze time.
him and Nate got real
Him and
dirty
Nate.
and started dancing together.
Drinking together, partying. Who gets the girl? You get the girl. You get the girl. We'll both take the girl.
The clay came out and they started making pots together.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I mean, it was really sexy.
Yeah, they were really into it together.
It's just hard watching the guy from Caddyshack be a pirate.
Where is she? Stay out of this, boy. Where is she?
Well, he wasn't a pirate. He was a rich.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you
It
mean.
was
But
just like hard watching the dude from Caddyshack.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I remember his one line. I was a boxer at Harvard.
Yeah.
Like that was his tough
But
guy.
he
Like,
never
which-
boxed.
Right, but it was kind of neat that they kind of set him like he's confident, but he is in way over his head.
Right. At no point though did he even kind of.
Not even once.
Not even once.
He threw his shoulder into a door a couple times.
Yeah. Yeah, to try to get.
And
through the door.
he was fencing.
Oh, yeah.
But with like this way though.
Yeah.
Right.
Professional,
Richard brought it up that he was fighting more of like a more
Fencing.
fancy style, more
Yeah.
fancy, where the other guys were straight up brawling with their like.
Yeah, they'd swing and punch, swing and
Yeah.
punch.
He's
Whereas
like,
he was,
I want to kill you, whereas
Yeah.
the other one is like, I want to make you feel bad. It's fancy moves.
This fancy moves. He was good though. I mean, he was like the actor was really well trained because he had,
Yeah.
you know, he had good technique, he had good style, and the other guys were brawling.
I'm gonna call my friend who is a expert on German military.
Okay.
And I want to see what he thinks because I told him to watch this. And I want to see what he thinks about that German ship to see how accurate it was.
Okay.
So I'm gonna call him and see what he thinks. So go ahead. I'm gonna.
Right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna call him and see what he thinks.
Okay.
All right.
Where is he?
And keep on speakerphone.
He's in Germany. So like I will record it and I'll just put it up here what he says.
Okay.
So
keep talking.
Yeah, keep talking while I call him.
Keep talking.
What time is it in Germany?
9 hours, I think.
It's like 8 o'clock in the morning?
It's 8:15 in the morning, yeah. So he'll be awake.
You know what time it is in Germany? 9.
Peace, man. What bring? Happy me good now.
I would have loved to have seen that big king, like gnawing on an arm or something, like the arm from the.
They were
movie
feeding him
version.
like brain pudding out of
Yeah,
his
they were
skull.
just like giving him like little pieces.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you see when they lick their lips?
Oh yeah.
When they walk by, like, because they're all cannibals. All right, I just sent him a text that said, you know, he watched the movie. What he thinks about this? He just sent me a response, and I'll put it right here.
That's Schwachsinn. Bullshit.
And did he say it's 9?
9.
He said, why don't you call me at 9 instead of 8?
Yeah. So it was.
All right, first part I got to bring up. Sorry, I'm gonna interrupt. The thing that always stood out about this movie, and I didn't realize because they did it every fucking 5 minutes, was the theme. The music is very epic. It's very fitting of the movie. It's very piratey, like.
And Superman-y.
Yeah.
Superman-y.
But you think, like, it fits, like, the excitement of, like, a pirate movie. And I think the reason it stuck in my head, now that I see it again, is it's played every time you see Tommy Lee Jones on screen. They play it.
Right, the hero.
The hero.
And they did the same thing in Pirates of the Caribbean, right?
I don't remember.
They kind of did that in Indiana Jones a little bit.
Yeah, because Jack Sparrow had his own
Yeah, but
theme, too.
John Williams wrote a lot of music, so there was a lot of music on there, where this, like...
Oh, so
it was the London Symphony Orchestra that played all the music.
I'm sorry?
It was the London Symphony Orchestra that played
Oh,
all the
really?
music.
Yeah. I mean, the music... And I can't play any of it on the show because we'll get flagged. But I will put a link in the comment of, like... There is a YouTube page that has the music.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll put a link, so if you want to hear the music... You can listen to it because like it's
the
really
link
good.
Right here. Yeah. There'll be a link right.
It'll be it'll be a pinned comment.
It'll be here over. It'll be here on his head.
Maybe just do it across his chest.
Yeah. Okay.
You know.
A lot of links.
Like he can open his shirt
up.
up.
No. You can open up. You can open up your hands and have fire, and then put the fire out, and the smoke will be the link.
Can you do that?
I can just have green fire shoot out of my crotch, and that's where the link is. I was trying to think either fire crotch or a pussy on the table will bring the link.
We'll bring the link. I can't wait to see this. I can't wait to see.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck
episode 3.
If you need a cat for that service, I can provide mine.
I have a black cat. He lives in my side yard.
You think you can bring him in here?
Of course I can bring him in.
I'm very disappointed that you used the word cat.
I did that on purpose. You told me the internet people are scary.
But you have to embrace that. You have to just be you.
If you need a pussy on the table, then I'd be happy to provide.
There you go.
This has gone so far.
I mean, it is. We started late again. We're pushing midnight, so it's.
Well, we got to get to the movie, right?
You know, we're going to the movie. It's just we're sidetracking. We're talking about the German ship, the German guys with. I think it's an Australian New Zealand accent and maybe English. I don't know because he's not really he's supposed to be German, but he's not really doing a German accent.
Your Majesty, my country wishes to use your island as an anchorage for its new naval vessels. This is very important for Germany. Very important for me.
They didn't even try to be German. I mean, the accent wasn't even close. Like he wasn't hiding his real accent.
No.
You talking about the Colonel Clink looking guy?
Yeah, the Colonel Sanders guy.
With the pith helmet?
Yeah.
Right? I thought he had he had a posh English accent, like he learned allocution English, and then there was a German folded in there. You know what I mean?
He learned it a week before filming and
it was like basically they started filming like, oh, my character's got a German name. Right. Oh, I've been I don't know. But it's a fun pirate movie. I enjoyed this one.
I like it.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
This is one that, like I said, it's hard for me to judge because I own this for so long on VHS, and I know that movie. Even I haven't seen it in 20 years. I know it backward and forward. I know every moment of it. I told you the ninja guy was like my favorite character. Mm-hmm. He doesn't speak. He just kills a bunch of people. I like the part when they're killing all of Pease's guys, and he just walks up, and I look at him, he just goes.
How many? And then there were 3.
I like the fact that he sent them to follow Nate to help him, even though Nate thought he was going to do it on his own, right, Nate? So I think that was pretty cool, and that was the first time that I actually took notice of this character. As I said earlier, I would have liked to have seen the peg leg guy with the skull on the kneecap. Like,
that was a cool character.
Yeah, and I like the fact that he had both bones.
Oh, that was a nice leg.
You saw it. Look,
that was a nice leg.
Yeah.
You know,
like
he had
a chicken
this,
wing.
Yeah, it was just he had these two bones coming off this skull, and I thought it was awesome. And when they were running on the beach, and he was like lagging behind, I would have liked to see him like in the credits, him still running on the beach trying to catch up or something.
Goodbye. Sailor.
But unfortunately, that's the one sad part of the movie is everyone died except for him.
Right.
His entire crew.
Because he left everybody. Yeah. He just abandoned his whole crew.
So nothing like Captain Kirk.
Right.
No.
But that was the pirate. That was the pirate thing. It was. I mean, that was the pirate thing. It was every man for himself.
And he didn't get the girl.
No, that's true. That's
But he did get friendship.
Oh, friendship. He got Nate.
He did.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know. They both could have got him.
Yeah.
Or got her.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a little like a
I don't know. They have this whole
trifecta
romantic scene. Yeah.
Like a throuple.
Thruple.
I mean,
the DP.
I mean, they both put their lives on the line to save him. I think there might be a little more there.
Yeah.
This is one that could be rebooted.
Yes.
Like, up the budget by $50 million and, that kind of stuff. This is one they could reboot, and I don't think anybody would mind.
I honestly think if I were to reboot this, I would cut the whole German characters, that whole thing out, because the him and Pease being the main, and Pease when he pillaged the island and made it look like Bully Hayes did it, like doing that and giving him a bad reputation, and that element was really cool. Like the final battle scene of them on the, other than him, this one's for you, and then blowing up. That was the only thing that the Germans brought to the table, was a ship to blow up at the end.
Yeah.
So I don't think that should be cut out. It just wasn't necessary.
And the whole going to see the king of that island, like, we need your island, and when they gave the offerings, like the big box was a head, one single head, and then the little barrel had.
There's a mummified head though.
Yeah, a mummified head, but then the little barrel had like miniature heads in it. Like I wasn't quite sure what that.
It was just setting it up to give a reason for her to be sacrificed, so they could come in and save the day.
Yeah, it's because he cut
Running
the
up the
barrel
beach.
off the back of the wagon that had all the good heads in it.
Right, all the good head left.
All the good head is gone.
All the good head is gone. That's the problem with movies these days. There's no more good heads.
There's no good head.
Not enough.
Anymore.
There would have been.
I feel like that whole sacrifice thing was kind of like,
King
okay,
Kong,
we made this thing and we're shooting it. It's stupid, but we're shooting it. I felt like that was one of those, what did you call that, a jump the shark moment?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that was the jump the shark moment in the movie, where they were just like, we've got this thing, we built it,
Right.
we're gonna strap her to it, and we're just gonna not try to get out at all.
It worked in King Kong.
It may not have been we built it.
Like a fire.
It may have been like, we have this, because I think they're filming in New Zealand. We have this set from another movie.
It looks like what it was.
Right.
Yeah, they're not going to tear it down for another week, so let's just use it.
Right.
At all.
Yeah. I mean, because it looked like it. And honestly, because you look at the boats were great. Both pirate ships were great. The metal German ship was cool looking. Like even Richard pointed out, all the rivets just made it look kind of cool looking.
Das Schwachsinn. Bullshit.
The sets, everything was really well done. Even when they go to visit the chief, the cannibal chief, like the set was cool looking.
Right.
The set of the human sacrifice just looked paper machéd. It just looked bad.
But the dragon heads were even nice.
Those were
skulls
nice.
of the-
But then there was another moment where they were in the shanty town, and we're like, this is a set from another movie. Like I've seen this before. Like it looked like it was Popeye.
Looked like stuff from Popeye,
Yeah.
So one of the things that Richard brought up, which I kind of giggled at and really focused on towards the end of the movie,
I
was
don't care what Richard has to say.
Fuck you, Richard.
Fuck you, Richard.
I don't agree with them.
is
off camera. She's the one who's pushing us to do it.
Yeah.
I truly am the driving force behind this hatred.
Actually, you know what's really funny is I can just dub your voice over her. So just say I hate Richard, and we'll just make it sound like it came from her.
I hate Richard.
So I just.
I am being misrepresented.
I hate Richard.
This is defamation.
Defamation?
Defamation of character?
I like defamation. I like that.
Whatever it is, I like
defamation.
Of character. Anyway, Richard brought up this whole thing when they went to the Cannibal Island.
The dude on the left got some of the yellow shit in his eyes. He's like, fuck.
Right. They painted everybody. There was one kid that got painted, and his eye was painted yellow. And it was like he couldn't see out of it because whoever painted him just got it in his eye.
Yeah. I'm sure the sweat was just running down because the
And
other
he was
kid
like
had it here, and he had it all over, so it's just running sweat into his
and he
eye.
was like he had his one eye closed, and his eye was pretty much closed the entire time. Like you watch him and you see him like he's just in pain, holding his one eye shut, trying to make it tear up together.
If they're in New Zealand and it's hot in summer, as a makeup artist, I can tell you that's a nightmare.
So can we talk about how the lighting designer just bailed at the end of the movie?
There's this one thing where it's like a yellow Instagram filter, and then it's a blue Instagram filter.
But went yellow red to blue yellow. But hardcore, right?
Hardcore, yeah. The color timer fell asleep.
But one thing, we'll look at the content. It might also be like the projector, because we are projecting with a lot of light. Like it's not the ideal. So I think they were trying to do like a sunset look, but
they're indoors.
But the windows are open.
Windows.
They were all closed. Okay.
They're portholes. They don't have
all
curtains.
were covered.
With what?
They had like shades covering up all the windows on the boat. It was just yellow.
They're not
inside.
blackout. They were yellow shades.
Everybody
Pretty
looks like
sure
they had
I saw
jaundice.
some pretty open.
Listen,
Everybody had cirrhosis of the liver.
every time they were on a boat, every time they were running somewhere, the lighting was decent for the time period. Until they got on that boat, and then every scene after that sucked.
But when they got to the island, it really looked like the color meter of the DP broke, and they were just guessing on the exposure because everything, all the whites were totally blown out.
I feel
her dress
like
was flat.
Obviously, they didn't shoot this in sequence, right? So probably
But it was done in 4K.
The crappy stuff, I figured, was probably filmed first. And they went, oh, we're going to fire this guy, kind of like when we fire Richard. And then, they get somebody decent in there that can do their job.
I hope Richard watches this.
Here's the thing.
As funny as she is, I'm mean. So there.
We're proportionate parts of the show.
At the end of the movie, they're bringing Bully Hayes to his execution. And then we learn that Nate and what was her name? Sophie were there to save him.
Sophie, now!
And they kill Ben Pease, and they get away, and they force her, after saving their lives, to paddle to the boat.
Row the boat.
Well, they're on one end, and she's on the top end.
They're making her row so they can be basically romantic. They can hold hands together.
They can hold hands.
Riding into the sunset.
They can be Nate and Hayes.
Nate and Hayes.
Nate and Hayes.
Wrap this up. I think, I've always said this movie should be watched. It's not as good as Indiana Jones, but it's in the vein of Indiana Jones. Great score, fun, some downtime, but still enjoyable to watch. Next.
I remember seeing this, so it was kind of like a fun memory, but I remember it being scarier when I was a kid. But yeah, I think you should watch it once. Once is enough.
I have never seen this movie.
Or heard of it.
I'm more interested, I think, in the sequel of Nate and Jones, or the double penetration part with Sophie. I want to see how that works out.
Double protagonist. DP.
Oh, that's what it was?
Yes, it was double protagonist.
Oh, I thought it was double penetration. Because Nate in...
Hayes!
Okay.
The joke from before was double protagonist.
Oh, my bad. That's not what I thought.
Should have remembered the joke from an hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
What's the matter with you?
Yeah, well, I know what the joke was, but I...
Okay.
It was insinuating.
Yeah, I know.
Here's the movie, and here's our course.
I don't know. I
stay on course. Stay on course.
I didn't love it. I didn't love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would I watch it again? I mean, with this group, probably, but not on my own. No.
Once is enough.
I would probably suggest it, but if I were to have an inkling for a pirate movie, I would likely gravitate towards something else.
Like what?
Pirates of the Caribbean, obviously.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah. Obvious.
To Richard.
I think he's
Actually,
a good
no.
guy.
This is gonna be our. Oh no, I can't do that. All right, we're done.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, look what you're drinking.
Cameras don't exist.